Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Honestly, imagine all that money had come to me. Me. And yes, I do say me.
I'll tell you what though, if this per month thing gets up to something like $10,000 a month, I'll hire a couple people. Then I can afford to have some employees. I'll hire Jonathan. I know Jonathan's looking for some steady work. I'd be happy to employ Jonathan. He's good at this. There's other people too out there who I'd be happy to employ. So if this number keeps going up, I don't need to make this much money a month. I'll use it to share the wealth and take this research even further. If I had a helper, then we could do the NHL games, etc., etc.
Be authentic. Right now, there's 10,787 coming in a month. That's more than I need for myself. That's why I'm paying $1,000 a month for a website. That's why I'm saving the rest of the money for a future cause, like getting a building and renovating it and being able to have the resources to put in the furniture that we can have to set up a, geometry effect news studio. This money is for the cause. If this money goes up to 30,000, I'm telling you guys, it's going to happen overnight. We're going to have the building. We're going to have people hired. It's going to make a huge difference. This isn't enough right now to rent a space, hire people, but it's a chunk of the way there. We just need 20,000 more people in the community to step up and pledge $1, or 4,000 people to pledge $5 a month. 30,000's the mark to hire a team of people, have them on a salary, have health care, have a building, and have the resources to do things like travel when an important story happens. We can do a lot with 30,000 a month. It's the goal I'm setting. The more the merrier, but as much as I've been begging for that $1 a month pledge, and it hasn't happened, I don't want to ask for too much, but I am saying we hit 30,000, things will happen. Things will happen, and they'll happen fast, and you'll see it. I'm transparent.
We need like a revenue stream of 100,000 a month, literally, and that should be easy to get based on what we're doing. Imagine what Netflix's revenue stream is a month. How many of you are watching and signed up for Netflix but not for my Patreon? Serious question. I bet almost all of you.
People are just concerned about making books and pounding pavement on the same corner in front of McDonald's. That's not going to change anything. Meanwhile, they're making $40,000 a month, telling people that they're saving the money. They've been saving the money for 7 years and haven't done shit. I'm going to hire an employee as soon as I get to 10,000.
I'll tell you what though, if this per month thing gets up to something like $10,000 a month, I'll hire a couple people. Then I can afford to have some employees. I'll hire Jonathan,
$30,000 later.
Authentic. Right now, there's 10,787 coming in a month. That's more than I need for myself. That's why I'm paying $1,000 a month for a website. That's why I'm saving the rest of the money for a future cause, like getting a building and renovating it and being able to have the resources to put in the furniture that we can have to set up a, geometry effect news studio. This money is for the cause. If this money goes up to 30,000, I'm telling you guys, it's going to happen overnight. We're going to have the building. We're going to have people hired. It's going to make a huge difference.
I'm going to hire an employee as soon as we get to 50,000. $50,000 later.
But yeah, if 80,000 was coming in a month, my God, man, and everybody was just giving up $1, then we'd have a team of people.
I'm going to hire an employee as soon as we get to 100,000.
We need like a revenue stream of 100,000 a month, literally, and that should be easy to get based on what we're doing. Imagine what Netflix's revenue stream is a month. How many of you are watching and signed up for Netflix but not for my Patreon? Serious question. I bet almost all of you.
I need at least $250,000 a month.
Join us on Patreon, All of you guys who can't support this work, to me, you're part of the problem. I should have 1 million people on Patreon supporting every month the shit I'm doing in this world.
Like the guys, oh my God, y'all can't see through that shit.
Honestly, imagine all that money had come to me. Me. And yes, I do say me.
All right. Again, you guys were trying to get that Patreon up to $30,000 a month. I wish it would have already happened today, because I'd be down letting you know that I just leased out the office space, let you know who's already hired. I'm telling you, we can do this fast. There's people who I know who I can reach out to and hire, can be the employees. I know who the people are who are good at this. It's just we need the resources to do it. There's people who are willing. We need resources to do it. If everybody in this community pledged $1 a month,
fuck these losers begging for $1 nonstop.
because again, it's not going to get further than it is without resources. There has to be a team of people. There has to be funds for advertising, like that thing that just came up, the Epic Times. I need to be advertising on YouTube, Gematria Effect News. Follow Gematria Effect News. See, they have money, they have resources, and who's behind the Epic Times? There's obviously somebody with money. I know there's a community of people here who should value this work at more than $1 a month. So again, all of you who think like, well, I'm not going to do it, I'll let somebody else do it, realize that's the reason it doesn't happen, because that's how everyone thinks. You all think your dollar doesn't matter. It is your dollar that matters. It's all 30,000 of you thinking that way, the reason that we're not at $30,000 a month revenue. And honestly, we need more than that, honestly, but I just know with $30,000 a month, we can hire a team of people, have an office, have people to do what's not getting done now, get this work out further.
Yeah, I just seen $1. Give me $1. For how long, man? How long do you need $1 for?
What I need for people who sign up on Patreon is I need them to be more generous and sign up at that $20 tier a month that says build this movement.
Nah, I'm good.
So I can hire some people. That's what's got to happen. That's how we're going to advance it further, by having a team of people. You know, there needs to be team gematria, and there really isn't a way, but I mean, it needs to be like a legitimate paid for team. I know Martin has to work. I'm sure Simple Truth has a job that he has to work.
I'm quite confident that $33,000 can more than cover it. If there's extra money from this project, what it can be used for is doing the next awareness campaign. And I'm thinking, you know, maybe in DC, spend a little money and put together a nice documentary film interviewing people about what's going on in the world, teaching them this knowledge, see how they respond. We have to create like, a viral truth-seeking epidemic. People have to get over this hump of being so afraid of confronting the truth. You know, here's what I'll say. If this money, or if this account raises $5,000 in the next couple days, if it raises $5,000 in the next 48 hours, I will go to Washington, D.C., and I will stay there for... I should be able to stay there up until the election, at least on $5,000. I'll figure out how to leave as cheap.
This fool got the whole website built for less than $5,000, and he still complains. Doesn't even say thank you. What a cocksucker. In the beginning of this video, he did talk about going out there to with Jeff Young and to DC and all that, but you know, he ended up saying it on his radio show or another YouTube video that he wasn't going to be able to do that, and he couldn't leave his girlfriend alone in his house after being robbed and all this other stuff.
So anyway, Truth Seeker, I'm not giving up. You know, for my girlfriends in our relationship, I might have to, you know, shut it down for a while, just focus on the book, because that's pretty much the only work that I'm doing right now that she seems to respect. She wants me to make some money. I'm not putting out...
If she can't respect you telling the truth, brother, then, you know, apparently she's only about that money. So you're leading me right down a path where, you know, I guess the same, you know, I'm starting to see you the path that you got led down. So
$33,000, that can be more than enough money to change the world. And I assure you, I'm not going to take any of this money and stick it in my pockets. That's not what this is about.
You know, apparently, I guess Zachary K. Hubbard has no part in All for Truth anymore, even though he didn't have much of a part in it to begin with, other than sending over a little bit of money and then pocketing the rest from the fundraiser. So, you know, I guess when you do fundraisers nowadays on YouTube, you use, you know, 10% of what you say. You know, you're gonna, you know, you use 10% of what you collect, and then the rest of it, I guess you just put it in your pocket or whatever the fuck you do with it. So,
and then I got the scammers accusing me of being a scammer. It's like, what? Where have I ever scammed anybody? You know, I've been super transparent about everything.
Good.
$33,000, that can be more than enough money to change the world. And I assure you, I'm not going to take any of this money and stick it in my pockets. That's not what this is about.
You liar. You liar.
And I know that my whole life I've been a good Samaritan. I've always looked out for other people before I looked out for myself. A lot of people know that about me. You know, people are really hating on me right now because I'm somewhat successful with my Patreon. It's not nearly as successful as it should be. You know? There should be way more people pledging $1 a month to the cause I've been trying to raise funds for. You know, if there was 1 million people in the world pledging $1 a month, we'd have $1 million a month to hire, you know, how many employees could we have for $1 million a month revenue? We could have a full team of people nationwide, city to city, getting out the word about what people need to know about to stop the evil agenda. And I got people complaining about that. Oh, now Zach's asking for $1 million a month. Shut the fuck up, sorry-ass motherfucker. Whose side are you on? We already know whose side you're on.
Fuck these losers begging for $1 nonstop.
And I just went to the chat. I see Kayla's thing. We need Team Gematria News. Indeed we do. Indeed we do. And if there were enough people in the world that saw that this work was worth way more than $1 a month, we would have that. And the thing is, resources are coming in, not as much as they should, but I'm saving up what we have. And eventually, when there's a big enough pool of money, and I know we can employ a team of people for a significant period of time without it all getting shut down, then we'll go. I mean, the reality is now, if I tried to start an employee and have 3 or 4 employees, I got enough funds to pay them a decent salary for a year, but...
Oh, did I let the cat out of the bag?
If funds get cut off, then what? Funds get cut off, what? We do it for a year? When I start this thing, I don't intend for it to stop, you know? I intend for Team Gematria News, or whatever we call it, to be a thing that goes on. And that takes resources, and again, there's a lot of obstacles in this day and age. So, you know, for the morons that are always speculating in the chat about how much I make, you guys don't know. Stop spreading false information. And for the idiot who's saying, well, how come things have changed? Well, when did I say that? When did I say the goals? I said that before COVID, before prices skyrocketed on things, before they locked down the world, before they made all these new rules to travel.
I've been making excuses all my life.
Again, things have changed since then. This has already been addressed. That's why all these trolls just trying to start all this shit, they pay attention to everything. They actually know the answers to these questions. They just think by putting this out there, it might help build a case against me. Again, you guys, I do want like a $1 million sum of cash in the bank before I start Gematria Effect News, because then I know if I have a team of 3 or 4 people and they're willing to work for $50,000 a year, then I can employ them for a number of years in case financial revenue gets cut off and we have to figure out another way. A lot of people have gotten their revenue cut off. I've already been dealing with getting my revenue cut off. So, again, that's just the smart way to go about it. That's what I've decided. I'll tell you what, though, if this per month thing gets up to something like $10,000 a month, I'll hire a couple people. You know, then I can afford to have some employees. I'll hire Jonathan, you know. I know Jonathan's looking for some steady work. I'd be happy to employ Jonathan. He's good at this. There's other people, too, out there who I'd be happy to employ. So if this number keeps going up, I don't need to make this much money a month. I'll use it to share the wealth and take this research even further. If I had a helper, then we could do the NHL games, etc., etc. If this money goes up to $30,000, I'm telling you guys, it's going to happen overnight. We're going to have the building. We're going to have people hired. It's going to make a huge difference. I don't want to ask for too much, but I am saying we hit 30,000, things will happen. Things will happen, and they'll happen fast, and you'll see it. I'm transparent. Again, you guys, I do want like a $1 million sum of cash in the bank before I start Gematria Effect News, because
Then I know if I have a team of 3 or 4 people and they're willing to work for $50,000 a year, then I can employ them for a number of years in case financial revenue gets cut off and we have to figure out another way. A lot of people have gotten their revenue cut off. I've already been dealing with getting my revenue cut off. So again, that's just the smart way to go about it. That's what I've decided. I'm not going to start and hire people. And that was the other thing. I was going to hire somebody the other year. And what happened was that person didn't do the simple things I asked them to do. So I thought, well, maybe they don't really want the position that much. And in the time that I made the announcement that I was going to announce who the first employee was, I had like 10 emails come in from people who were good in the community who really wanted the job. And it seemed like they all wanted it more than the person I offered it to. And then I found out that they needed to stay in New York and they couldn't come out here. And anyway, I just realized, you know what? I'm just going to hold this off until we have enough resources. It'll be better if we hire a team of people at once anyway. And again, for all the people that don't like the way I'm going about things, then fuck off and get out of here. Don't make a video and talk shit about it every day.
So, Zach, fuck you. Guys, fuck you, Zachary K. Hubbard, you motherfucker.
Anyway, I just, you know, if you guys are persuaded by the people that are trying to make me look bad, be persuaded then. Go down their path, join the bad fight, join the enemy side.
Fuck you, Zachary K. Hubbard. Fuck you. And fuck this motherfucking hat. Go fuck yourself. Asshole. You are a fucking asshole.
But yeah, about that troll that we've been talking about, you know, I was just talking in the Patreon comment section. This was a few months ago, and he wanted me to ask you a question, and I think you've explained it already, but he wanted me to ask you about like your thing with the, I don't know, was it 10,000 or 30,000?
Right, and I've already addressed all that. I mean, that's why that guy's annoying. He watches everything. He just bringing up shit. I mean, so yeah, he's just a punk. Yeah. And again, it's like I said, you know, I did say at one point that when the Patreon gets to 10,000, I'll hire an employee.
So you're lying.
And I was going to do that, and I started. We were in the process, and the person just didn't show me enough initiative. And
No excuses. I repeat, no excuses.
I don't want to talk about it too much because that person's still a great contributor to the community, and it started to make me feel bad because when I announced that I was going to hire somebody, about 10 people reached out and said, "Hey, is it me?" And I was like, man, these people are all great contestants, and it seems like they want it more than he does. But then I also had Sweet Lady in my ear. She's like, Zach, you better save up some more money in case they cut off your Patreon, because then what are you going to do? Just have to fire them right away? And then what? They quit their job to work for you, and now you don't have any money to pay them? And I said, yeah, you're making some good points. So
excuses. That's all I hear.
And I know the asshole keeps saying that I'm making so much a month on Patreon. He's talking out of his ass. I'm not making that much money. I mean, he's just spreading all this false information while saying that I'm the liar. It's just so fucking annoying. But and again, the day there is enough resources, you know, when I feel like there's enough resources there to be like, okay, we have money in the bank in case they do shut us down on Patreon, and we'll figure out some other way to raise revenue. It's going to happen. But
I don't understand why people are still defending this person. I mean, there are buku videos out here showing him lying about his sports picks. I mean, once you don't see somebody lying, why are you still following this person? This community needs another leader, a leader that is honest, not someone who is going to continuously lie and denigrate people and treat people like shit. I mean, my God. So what if he started the community? So what? But that's all I had to say. I really do hope y'all get another leader for this community because Zach is not the one. That's all I got to say.
I really do think, like, he has a problem with me saying that I think there should be 1 million people pledging $1 a month.
$1 million.
Well, don't you think we should maybe ask for more than $1 million? $1 million isn't exactly a lot of money these days.
You know what? Let me up it. I think there should be billions of people pledging $1 a month to what I've been trying to accomplish in this world.
$100 billion.
Because who am I advocating for? I'm advocating for the people of the world that are getting fucked over by these tyrants. We need resources to fight what's upon us.
And he needs money. He always needs money.
It takes resources to do things. If I had, if I had a lot more resources than I have now, it would be like, imagine we had $1 million coming in a month. We could not only buy a Truth Seekerville in, Mexico, we could get one in the States for people who want to stay in the States. And really, $1 million a month there should be 1 million people out there who could pledge $1 a month to this.
Desperate, begging for money, cocksucker.
Stop supporting these channels. Let their channels just wither and die. They don't need to be here. They're interference. They're sucking up resources from the truth community. Brian, just did a huge renovation on his home. The guy's making a lot of money, and he has there's not one iota in his body where he's really about any real change in this world or about doing anything for humanity. And the reality is, all the money and resources he sucked up, and he might play this clip later and say, oh, what an arrogant asshole. Honestly, imagine all that money had come to me. Me. And yes, I do say me. Honestly, imagine all that money had come to me. Me. And yes, I do say me. Hey, Joe, that's a lot to donate. I saw a donation earlier from you. Your quota's met, my man. If everybody just stepped up and threw $25 at me like that, we'd have 1 million overnight. And we'd be able to hire Team Gematria and get everything done that needs to be done. I wish we had crazy money like the news network so that we could hire a team of Gematria Effect news people to represent every major city and just get the word out.
Again with the money? Yeah, again with the money.
I'm disappointed by how few people heard the call to help me get the Patreon number back up, because I really am trying to win over Sweet Lady here with the idea of traveling 3 days a month. I feel like I need to do that right now. Again, times are getting more fast and furious. I realize when I get out there, it brings people out. But, yeah, Sweet Lady's like, look at how much money you spent with these last 2 trips and your support went way down. At this rate, you're going to go broke.
That is what's known as being stunningly full of shit.
I'll tell you what, though. If you guys are on my Patreon and you're pledging $1 a month, don't do it today because it'll double bill you. Do it tomorrow or after June 1st. If you can change it to $2 or $3 or $4 a month or $5 a month, if that's affordable, that could be helpful, because if other people aren't going to step up, I might just need to ask the people who are already there pledging $1 a month if you can make it $2 or $3. Or if you're pledging $5 right now, $6, to make up for all the people who just sit there with their hands in their pockets. Again, it's going to take resources to get the word out. I have saved up a lot from what's come in, but it trickles in month after month,
Yeah, I just seen $1. Give me $1. For how long, man? How long do you need $1 for?
That's all, folks.
Till next time, Truth Seeker.